It's not testing your ability to cram. It's not testing your ability to memorize stuff. It's testing your ability to apply what you have learned to solve a problem. You are giving a word problem. Like what real world looks like.
They would have gone through these public sectors and see, oh, this thing is lacking here. I have the resources. I can actually bring it to my own. It will benefit these people, the future of these children that we are talking about.
They are leaning on the positive products of this private school, what is given to the economy. That's why they are neglecting the government school.
I don't have qualified teachers. You know why? I don't think we remunerate teachers properly in this part of the country.
That the administration was able to, open up and show you their curriculum, their facilities, does not mean that at the end of the day you get that much value. Sometimes they do, the more you look, the less you see.
What do you actually believe in? Spending so much money on your children's higher education. Today we'll be looking at the topic expensive higher education. Should it be that way? Should we do state school, federal schools, or private schools? Which one of them, of the three rather, brings value? Welcome to another episode of Happy Family. You think I was school before? I just try to let you know the topic. But before we go further, subscribe, share, like, turn on notification button. Ensure that whenever we drop a video, you will know, so you can watch it. And spread the news. Share it out, but don't be, you can't selfish. So you share it. On this note, I say welcome to another beautiful, fantastic episode with the happy people. I'm not here alone. It's a complete family. In this family, we have Oriebi, we have children, we have wives, we have uncles, we have aunties, plenty. I don't even know my own category, but I know that I'm trying using mic to talk and I'm facing you. Okay, they said I'm uncle. Uncle, Papi Sam. All right. So I would like that you meet other family members. If you're joining for the first time, meet us. Come and join this happy family. I'm Papi Sam, Samuel Adebowale. And it's not easy to be a fine boy, yo. So if you see me regular, let's go this way, my right. I meet the one and only.
Only BC. Thank you again for joining us today. It's going to be an interesting time. It's not going to be a waste of time. It's not going to be a waste of time. So you're welcome. Let me meet you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Vibing.
Thank you.
I can vibe along. Yes, I can vibe along.
Take it.
Okay, thank you. My name is Olabisi.
Oh, you're from the Kio to the Patra.
Okay. All the way from Egypt. Sassy the Sarah. The Sarah the Sassy. We're in the house. The glow. Empress Cleopatra. Although she has Empress. But this is our Cleopatra, in the building. Okay, guys, this is Sassy the Sarah. Welcome again. We'll employ you to watch, like, share, comment, and click on that button. We promise to always give you the vibe. We got the vibe. So just be there, okay? Don't go nowhere.
All right, this is Cynthia. Okay, so today we're going to be shaking the table on people that went to Pacos. Yes. That went to Queen's College. People that went to school in England, Harvard University. Yes, we are shaking the table today. So whichever one you went to, don't take it too hard. Don't take it too hard. Just calm down, enjoy it. We are going to enjoy ourselves.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Well, the emperor, the conqueror, the lion is here.
What are you talking about?
No, don't add banana for him.
This gentle-looking calm man that you are always saying all this anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, they call me the emperor. Today we are going to be having another nice time, discussing something very important. We need to know, does it worth it? Is it valuable? Does it make sense? Does it make financial sense, to invest a lot of money in our kids' education? Hey, you see this table? I don't know what will happen to this table at the end of the because we are going to shake the table.
Okay. This table might be pieces, like little pieces. But just before we delve into the conversation fully, we'd like to go on a break. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women, old and young, welcome back. From all over the place, from wherever it is you're watching us from, Antarctic, Arctica, Ireland, Croatia, Africa, Australia, UK, England, all over the globe. Welcome back. Okay. To give a foundation to this topic, I went to 9 primary schools, 4 secondary schools, 1 university. That one university, I used 9 years to study a 5-year course.
Hallelujah.
So I'm learned. 9 primary schools. I can list the names. So if I don't do PhD again, I've gone to school. I spent a good number of my life being a scholar. Those people that me prof and decorate me. But the truth is, in all my schooling, I went to government schools. And the quality of my educated personality has nothing to do with the school I went to. It was just a personal interest to learn more, speak good English, have a good command of English grammar, present myself well, and all of that. But then again, do not say people that went to private school is better than people that went to government school. How now? I went to government school, but the private school girl fell in love with me. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy.
No, long time.
It's not easy.
You didn't even go to private school. At least you experience it in your house.
Yes.
In those days, you have an experience.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to say that that private experience is adding up, making up for all the deficiencies.
Honestly.
Are you not saying that the government school has a deficiencies?
Please attack that.
See, the school you went to has nothing to do with how do I even phrase this now? The quality of okay. No, how do I even put this phrase now so that I can say it to you and this will not come from me? The quality of what you come out of school with has nothing to do with the school you attend. It has everything to do with how your heart was opened in school, how you have learned, and how you have given yourself to education. For example, Emperor here like this, he knows book, and the book he knows really has nothing to do with the schools he went to. It was because he has an interest to be a scholar. He wants to know book. He's naturally brilliant. If you put him in a private school, he will pass. If you put him in a public school, he will pass. But anywhere you put him, so it really has to do with the person, not the school.
We have seen people that are so brilliant, and at the end of the day, because they attended a government school, affected them. Because when you say government private school, government school does not have the facility the private school has. So it might.
No, it is relative.
Please.
So I think there's a mindset.
Not all private schools.
Not all private schools are well.
Private schools are different from private school. There's private.
I think we are talking about the expensive one now.
Let me tell you something, and I'll tell the name of the school.
Okay, that time, Emperor said, does it make sense to spend a lot?
It doesn't though.
No, sometimes it's worth it.
Let me tell you
I've seen some people that actually they can't really afford this thing that we are talking about. But because of where we find ourselves now, they have decided that let me send my children to private university so that they can mingle with for them. It actually works for them.
No, hold on.
So that's where you will find this.
Let's look at it this way. There are different advantages of both private and government school. So if we face the advantage, then we can speak this way.
Are we facing the advantage only?
Now, and there are different kinds of private school. I'll tell you something. When I was in school, my second year-ish, Madonna had an issue that a lot of people left their school. They came to my school and they were asking one of them a question. What is your bias? And that means that what were you studying? She could not answer. And I said, what did you mean? What is your bias? Nobody taught me that. I just knew it because I know my professors will speak, because I would listen to them, learn a few things. And the truth is, I not even as well as that Madonna school is it like a state school?
Uncle
I'm going somewhere. I just wanted to be sure. So what I'm saying is, it's really not sometimes about the school. It's the quality of attention and hard work that the student is giving in the school that determines how good they are.
Uncle.
So I'm not standing on either of the divide. I'm in the middle.
Uncle Papi Sam.
Yes.
This is an example. I don't like it.
Yeah.
You just imagine this. What you just said now. This is something that has to do with the just has to do with grammar. You know, this is possible. It doesn't. There's no one person that knows all the words. Exactly. You may not be familiar with one.
Exactly.
Word. So that does not take anything away from the school the guy was coming from or from his intelligence.
That is what I said at the beginning. Exactly. There's no. It's sometimes it's never about the school.
We are not going to use
about the individual.
Judge it by grammar. That's what I'm saying about that.
I agree with you. I think the same thing.
Papi, well, you see, excuse me. We cannot downplay the role of setting up something properly.
Yes.
And I am not saying that every school is properly set up.
Of course.
Every school probably has one focus or the other.
Yes.
And you know that when you move from one generation to another, by default, it's supposed to be an improvement.
Exactly.
You know, most of the people that founded the private institutions that we have, they came from the public institutions themselves.
Yes, yes.
They were in the system. They saw some of the rot and decadences,
and they felt they bring something that looks better.
To bring something better.
Yes, I agree with you.
Exactly. So, I personally think that education is an investment. And I have to ask myself the question, what kind of investment do I want to make into my child? I cannot just assume that, okay, because someone went to the public school and has a successful career and all of that, I don't just leave everything to chance and chances and other factors that comes to play in the life of a person.
Yeah.
So we had a guest on one of our episodes where we were also discussing this topic, and this guest, you know, they mentioned something about going through the curriculum of the schools, you know, trying to don't do the easy way out.
Yeah.
And you get to a new environment, you just interview one or two persons and say, oh, my child attends this school. And you look at it and say, okay, if these people are already attending, that's a vote of confidence. And you send your child there. Go through the curriculum, know what's going there, what's going on there. So I have had the experience of sending kids to school, different schools.
Okay.
Public, private at the level primary, secondary, university, and so on. I've had the opportunity to send children to public government-owned universities,
exactly,
as well as private universities.
Yes.
Excuse me. I started by training my younger ones in some of these institutions, then training my children. So what I'm trying to say is that when you look at the curriculum and all of this, you see the focus of the school. So there are schools and there are schools. Yeah. I don't know how some schools were set up. When you get to some schools, the average Nigerian system, everyone who is somehow empowered, who is in a position, feels that he has some advantage. When you send children to some schools, the government is sending money, is paying. And in some of these schools, the lecturers may not be interested in what comes out of the child or of their students at the end of the day. Yeah. They just go there, they deliver. At times, you see some overcrowded classrooms, and the lecturer is standing there and he's not even projecting his voice. Because the guy does not want to, if there is no public address system, he does not want to stress himself, and he's speaking, it's almost like speaking to himself. Yeah. So at the end of the day, the guy sets exam, and if you fail, he just says you are not brilliant. If you pass, he says, okay, you have tried. But do you know that if we turn it around, you will see that in some schools, if your students do not perform well, that's an indictment on you as a lecturer. Exactly. It's not for you to inflate their grades or things like that. It's about you ensuring that there's an impartation of knowledge. when you sit with them in class, you genuinely, you know. So this is a market. If you look at some schools outside this country, I don't know how Nigerian private institutions do their marketing, but outside the country, schools publish brochures and they say, 30% of our graduates landed their role post while they were still in school. Another 30%, got a job 1 month after graduation. 15% went on entrepreneurship, and this is what happened. So they are interested in the outcome of the education.
Exactly.
The outcome. So when you see a system where people are not, like our people will say, whether the market sell or the market does not sell, the laborer must get paid. When people approach their work with this kind of attitude, I'm not saying it's every lecturer, every teacher out there in the public sector that actually has this attitude. With all due respect to my teachers when I was in secondary school, for about 3 or 4 years, I was class captain. And when I was in the junior, like GSS 2, GSS 3, some of my teachers taught me their signatures. If they knew one day I would come on a podcast to say this, they would not have done so. They taught me their signatures. Some will have double periods. They will do one period and sign the other. I will allow them, I will let them sign. Some will not even come for the double periods, and I will sign for them. So this is less likely going to happen in a private secondary school, for example, because how will you stay when the manager of the school does not want anybody to complain that our teachers are not showing up? So they ensure that some basic things happen naturally within the school. And if you now look at the private, why do we see that more often in the public schools? Is because the management may not be as solid as you will find in private institutions. These private institutions want to grow because they need people to come so they can. Yes, sir.
But I would like us to bring clarity to this thing. There are degrees or there are levels to private schools. So I would like that we merge them together. There are private schools that fit into your description.
So and there are some that are expensive. We are talking about some schools that are expensive.
So we need to keep reiterating that expensive private school.
Yeah, well,
not every private school.
How do you say that a private school is expensive? That word expensive.
So
does it mean value? Are we trying to say expensive
in 2 ways.
Value?
It means they have enough value to give, and the worth of that value is what we make expensive.
Okay.
So there are schools like that they have facilities, equipment, they have teachers, they have let's say high school, they have British curriculum, the environment, the quality of what they have. I've seen schools like that, even around here, that have those good quality. I know that as a parent though, if my child will be in this school, I have to pay for it, and the quality of education as well. You don't want to compare a school where they use a digital screen to teach, that a school where the child just copy, write notes on the board. It will give different experiences to the students to learn more. But not all private schools are that way. So let's say the very expensive ones, the quality that they bring in.
I don't think it has to be the very expensive. That is why you have to. It's not. I don't know how to say it in English. It's not something that is hidden from us. We make our choices. Yes,
exactly. So that's the point where I say that as parents, you want to send your child to any school whatsoever, do a background check on the school. Visit the school, shout for their curriculum, know it. There was a time I wanted to do a master's abroad.
Does education have to be so expensive in a country that other people cannot afford?
I was saying that it is based on preference. No, see, this is based on preference. I have people that they cannot send their children to schools that do not fit into a certain quality. They'll tell you my child cannot go to that school. So if they come and see the quality and the money they pay for it. There's a school I used to visit often, and I see how much they pay, and I see the quality of parents that come to pick their children. Maybe the day they want to go on vacation, you see different big vehicles that will park and come. And I overheard one of the teachers say that this kind of people cannot send their children to school with less quality. It's human preference. So maybe today I become a multi-trillionaire, and I'm looking at schools that are, Ivy League schools to send my children to, that's the quality. That's perfect. I can pay for it. I won't think twice.
Just about the cost. It's because the Ivy League schools have something that they
have things that
others.
They have things that they want for their children, and they can only get it through those schools.
Exactly.
So again, it is based on preference and what they want. And some people feel there's
value add. There is also value add.
There's value add there.
Exactly. There is value add for.
I'm not ruling that out, but then this comparison with levels of schools is what I'm really trying to address.
Answered my question.
One of the reasons why.
Okay, hold on.
Does education need to be so expensive that the average person in a country, I want to put my children in the school, but why is it so expensive? Yes, the quality is there, but does it have to be so expensive that an average cannot send their children there? Why is education so expensive? Why do we take it so high like that? For the mighty and for the... I don't understand. Does it have to be for the mighty?
I will say it again. And I need you to listen to me. So what I'm saying is, there are preferences, there are values that they want, that there are places they want their children to be. And that's the cost of the value. There's something called cost for value. For example, if I see that this shoe is a premium shoe and it will cost like $1 million, and I will afford it, I want it, I go for it. And if there are shoes that cost less, it's my preference, it is what I want. And even that I want that shoe, I know the kind of stores I walk into to get it. I know what to call them to get to those stores. I know what I need to pay. And I'm going somewhere. And then there are preferences for other schools as well. So if you feel this one I can't afford it, the ones that you can afford, that's the quality that you want, you go there. But if you are, this school is what I want to, but I can't really pay for it and all, then you have to.
I've seen, for example, I walk into a school, I see their curriculum, just like you said, and there are some, there are some things there that I've seen that it can benefit my child.
Yes.
Do you understand? And I like it.
Who like better thing?
That's what I'm saying.
But you pay for better thing.
Pay for it.
So what I'm saying, I don't think it's fair. Most of the times. Honestly.
Mama.
Let's just try.
Are you talking about fairness?
No. That you hate Odoku. Now look at it. Nursery school, for example, some kindergarten school as expensive as it can be. Most of the times it's 500,000, 400,000.
That is cheap now. I know school of over 1 million.
Per term.
I'm just saying per term.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, these children are just 2 years old, 3 years old. Why is it so expensive? Why?
Yeah, when you put your child in a school where the child will be under AC all day,
they are running expenses. They are running in an economy like this.
Yes,
you will consider things. You need to be considerate. That is
for
why.
Internet, the flat screen television, what used to be 250,000 some years ago.
The quality of lunch that they give them, the quality of teachers that teach there.
Papi Sam, the thing is that she mentioned fairness. Actually, even down to what we eat and how we dress, you found out that life is not fair. You go for what you can afford. Really? And then you find out that people are also cutting their coat according to their clothes.
To their material.
And it does not mean that the person will also come out well. You will see some people who wear and they'll still look all posh and all those things. So the thing is that down to education, there are alternatives. If you feel that you cannot afford the expensive ones that will add the value you so desire, you can actually, there are so many alternatives. The private schools are, like he said, they are private. You can actually go for those ones that are actually giving you value. Yes, they are private, but they also give you value. The other. Now, in your own closet, ask the value that I remain.
Exactly.
That's why.
And there are some of these expensive schools that children go to, and at the end of the day, children they can only speak grammar. But what you expect of them You're not seeing.
Like
It
what?
depends on how
I know, like they are not teaching them, or you cannot generalize.
You cannot generalize it.
You can't. It depends on
They'll
individual.
say a 5-year-old cannot do everything.
You cannot leave the whole thing
Because
to
they are in
the
an
school.
expensive
You can't leave the whole thing.
No. I know what I'm saying.
Miss Sassy, because a 5-year-old is in an expensive school does not mean that he will perform like an 8-year-old. Do you understand?
Of course not. Of
So
course.
you are expecting them to become the automated human robot immediately?
No,
Yeah,
of course not. No,
because they're in
because
an
they are
expensive school.
no, of course not.
They will
I'm
still
comparing
pass
the
through.
child to the one coming from maybe the less expensive
The price.
school. Now, I'm not talking about the child being 5 years, being able to do what university people can do and all
Professors.
that. No, professors, no. I'm comparing now.
Okay.
The expensive and the less expensive.
Okay.
Now,
said
you're
it.
not going to
Good.
expensive school. Speak grammar, speak all the dictions, speak everything and all that. Now, there's time for debates. You bring the less expensive, you bring expensive. And the expensive child cannot even
Debate
Debate.
the other one.
The personality.
So, Miss Sarah,
Times. Most of these expensive schools
Closer.
cannot even,
Closer.
stand.
It's not more close down.
I'm not saying most of them are
You have
that is what I said at the beginning.
You cannot say
Hold
both
on.
of them.
These things are personal preferences for these children. There are children that they go to the best schools, but they don't look like it. And there's some that go to the best schools, they look like it, they do well, they perform better. So it's also to go and look for the best child or the child that's, that is doing well in those schools. We cannot put them on the same platter. It's not possible.
Papi Sam, see, when I was growing up, I like in the family, I'm the first child, the first daughter. So I had 4 younger ones.
Ada.
Yes, Ada.
Ada.
Now, when it got to our secondary school level, I think the finance was a bit heavy for my dad. He now looked at all of us. He said, you will drop out of the private school. You will go for government school. Let your siblings continue the private school. He did that. Okay, now, I went to private school. In that private school, once students get to SS2, they drop out. They run to miracle centers. They don't want to take their WAEC there. Because government schools, they will not attend to you. They won't help you. So they run to miracle centers. But it is done among private schools to some, not all, to assist their students during work. Now, why did my father ask me to drop out of private school to government school? Because he has seen that, okay, I'll be capable to manage and handle and face whatever it is. So, but my siblings might not be
able
capable.
to.
So, in that context now, you will not say that because I'm in government school and I'm doing well, and the one in private school that is not up to that my standard.
There are
tons of factors.
You see, one of the reasons
Actually.
parents take their children to private school again is they don't want the children to experience what they have experienced. Like in the university, you see that the chairs are not enough. Sometimes the lecturer does not come to the class. Sometimes lecturer teaches you and is not even explaining well. You cannot even go and approach a lecturer sometimes. You don't have that access. They don't give you that avenue to come to them. They feel, oh no, you cannot. And again, they are too much in a class. A class that is supposed to accommodate like 10 people, we are putting about 100. That's how many percentage increments. That's too much. And you yourself, you wouldn't want your child or your children to go through the same thing.
Once you can afford it.
Yeah, and I mean, they asked there was a scenario of 2 of my cousins. One went to a private university, and this one, she don't finish like 2 years before the other one that went to Osun State University finished. 2 years before. As in, it's just so annoying. They entered the same time. Do you understand? The other one started working. She had already finished her service. She started working before this other one. So would you want such to happen to you? You will consider so many factors. I don't want my children to go through ASU strike. I don't want them to go to an environment. And even if you see the classroom sometimes, it's not even... And,
let us
so
also
many
look at the
factors.
curriculum. Let us also look at the curriculum. I don't know. Anything that is private is the proprietor or the proprietress is right there. This person is looking. In fact, someone who starts a school, I don't think starting a school is something that you should do because you are hungry, you are looking for something to make money.
Or something,
It should normally be born out of your desire to make a difference in that sector.
Yes.
So these people, someone can already say, no, this kind of curriculum, I don't think it works. I don't think it makes sense, anymore. So I want to do it differently. But when it comes to the government sector, yes, they have all the manpower and everything, but the decision making is not going to be as quickly as what you will find in the private sector. So someone, for example, we have some Nigerian A levels. I don't know how it works today. When you check these A levels, you just realize that you start by proving a formula. And how do you know how to prove the formula? You know it because you have practiced it over and over and over again. So it's dealing with memory. It's not dealing with anything. Then after proving the formula, you apply it to solve a question. And they score you an A. If you are the guy that knows how to cram, you score an A, and so on and so forth. But you see another A levels, like the Cambridge A levels, for example, they can even have a reference for the formulas. You don't have to remember it, and they ask you some questions. You see that it's quite applied, So it's not testing your ability to cram. It's not testing your ability to memorize stuff. It's testing your ability to apply what you have learned to solve a problem. You are giving a word problem, like what real world looks like. So at times, these are the kind of things that you don't get in some of our public schools. In fact, most of our public schools,
and when you check very well, you see that all these expensive private schools that we are talking about, if you check the directors very well, you see that they would have gone through these public sectors and see, oh, this thing is lacking here. I have the resources. I can actually bring it to my own. It will benefit these people, the future of these children that we are talking about.
And they are constantly upgrading their educators.
Yes, and every time, they make their educators go through trainings and everything. These things are lacking in our public sector or our private sector. And governments are not even paying more attention to this public place.
Now you have said it well. Government. This is
not paying much attention again, and that's why everybody wants to send their child or their children to where they know that they will get optimum and premium value.
Sector. There is something they can also achieve in the public school.
Now, for this government schools, like we said, they are schools owned by the government. And due to the quality of the economy and the kind of government that we have in different countries, you'd find that the quality of the schools won't be much more than the quality of the government of that country.
Exactly.
You go to some countries, you see their government schools, they look like private schools of
Thank you.
countries.
Thank you. Exactly.
I feel that they look good. So it's based on the government, on how the government is working hard to make sure that their schools become and things work out. Like the days when I was in private school, my classroom didn't have windows. So when it rains like this, we are very much on our own. But our class teacher bought nylons to cover the windows. Everything is there. I was class captain in primary 6. We would cover the whole thing. My job is not to help the school cover window when it's raining. But class captain, it's part of my job to do so. Quickly cover window. Everybody say, don't go outside. Stay there. Sometimes because my class is on the 3rd floor, I'll be afraid that how this building would all fall down.
So your bench did not break. There are times when we are
some people stack stones to sit on. Benches. They see bench. But now when I went back to the school for one reason or the other, everything has changed. You have fine chairs, fine everything. So I was like, so we are the ones that have suffered. We are the ones that have suffered.
But you know what, Papi Sam? I think in every country, in most countries, the fact even they have better educations that are not, better schools that are not owned by the government.
Yes.
They have better schools that are not owned by the government.
Yes.
For example, there is a school in London, secondary school in England rather, where all the leaders of the world send their children.
I saw it yesterday. Online.
Yes, and our own leaders have been sending their children since late 50s.
They said a teacher is given only 5 or 10 children to take care of.
I don't don't even have the statistics,
Yes.
but the fact remains that you don't only learn academics in that school. The future the prince, a crown prince of Saudi Arabia might be in your class.
Yes.
You know, the son of the president of this country or that country is in your class. When you leave that school, it's easy to become an international businessman.
Of course.
About
Because of the connection.
and you want to start building your career from 50,000 naira per month job.